Cover it up and put it on. Hold at the end. Back to A. na 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 Shabbat Shalom. This is the only thing that we can do is gather. It's what communities do. We hold each other up. When the good times and when there's times that we just need a hug or to sit in silence or to call out to the universe because we just don't understand. So I want to welcome all of us. Tonight we're family. Whether we knew Judy or not, whether we know each other yet or not, we're family, we're community. So, Larry, are you the board member of the week? Or is it Suzanne? I'm all confused. Okay. I want to invite Larry Schwartz, who's a representative of the board, to welcome Shabbat with the reading on page 3 and to light the candles. Whichever one you like.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Light the candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. Good Shabbos. We also need to wave to everybody in YouTube land, including probably members of Judy's family and members of the congregation. You're here with us as well. So Shabbat Shalom. Page 5. And we can welcome the transition of the day from whole, normal every day to something extra special, Shabbat with Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta Mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. And I'll use something sweet. So invite us to turn to page 24. Seth, start us out with something sweet. Sweet like the wine. This is Shalom Aleichem. And yesterday when we knew it was the most compassionate, beautiful thing to do is to release Judy from all those things that were holding her back from her soul to fly. We invoke these angels, these Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaSharet, and we hum this. We hum this to her. Also in English, saying, let the angels carry you. Let them carry you in your sweet, warm embrace. And it's those same angels that we invoke now that bring us our extra portion of Shabbat, a soulfulness that bless us with what we need to deeply feel this Shabbat, and then to go knowing that they've done what they need to do. So let's thank those angels, those messengers, for the work that they seamlessly and soundlessly do for us every day. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bochem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon. I'm standing upon the seashore. a ship at my side, spreads her white sails to the moving breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She's an object of beauty and strength. I stand and watch her until at length she hangs like a speck of white cloud just where the sea and the sky come to mingle with each other. And then someone at my side says, "There, she is gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. She is just as large in mast, hull, and spar as she was when she left my side. And she is just as able to hear her load of living freight to her destined port. Her diminished size is in me, not her. And just at the moment when someone says, "There, she's gone," there are other eyes watching her coming and other voices ready to take up the glad shout, "Here she comes." And that is dying. I'd like to call your attention to the handout. This is actually a very traditional prayer, but not in every prayer book. But I'd like to bring it to us. It says, "Ana b'choach, gedulat yamincha, tatir tzerura." It means, God, untie my tangles, because we're bound with very tight knots. They choke off air and stop the blood from pulsating freely. The knots make us like computers with carefully controlled circuitry. The knots in our brains tie our creativity, our link with you. We follow the knot around in intricacy, but it remains a knot. The knots in our hearts keep us from crying and dancing when we long to. They tie us to the posts of the fences that separate us from each other. And the knots in our muscles keep our chest tight, our teeth clenched, our jaws locked, our legs crossed, our shoulders stooped, our backs bent, and they stop us from inhaling the full sweetness of life's breath. So with this prayer we ask, oh God, untie all these knots. So take a moment, see if you can find where you're holding those knots and breathe beautiful, sweet Shabbat air into those knots. Feel them untie and melt away. And learn this chant with me. And as we sing it, concentrate on, see if we can't find ourselves loosening, expanding. Anna b'choach gedulat yamincha tatir tzerura. That's it. Anna b'choach gedulat yamincha tatir tzerura. Again. Anna b'choach gedulat yamincha tatir tzerura. Anna b'choach gedulat yamincha. Expand, breathe, tzerura. Find those knots, let them go. B'choach gedulat yamincha tatir tzerura. One more time. Anna b'choach gedulat yamincha tatir tzerura. last time. Another koach gedulat yamincha tatir tzerura. Last line. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed. Page 20 for Lecha Dodi. Na na na, ya na 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 na, Lecha Dodi. Ya na 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 na, Likrat Kala. Ya na 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 na, Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekabla. Lecha Dodi, ya na na na, Likrat Kala. Ya na na na, Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Ishmianu el hameuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shem ultiferet velitila. Yananai, yananai, Lecha Dodi. Yananai, yananai, Likrat Kala. Yananai, Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekabla. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, smerosh mikedem nesucha. Sof Mahaseh b'machshava tehila, tehila. Yananai, yananai, Lecha Dodi. Yananai, Likrat Kala. Yananai, Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekabla. Fifth stanza. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi ori, uri, shidaveri. Kevod Adonai, Alayich nigla, Alayich nigla. Yananai, yananai, Lecha Dodi. Yananai, yananai, Likrat Kala. Yananai, Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekabla. Last stanza. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvetzola toch emuneh am segula boi chala yananai yananana l'chadodi yananana likat kala yananana Pnei Shabbat lekab yananana l'chadodi yananana likat kala yananana Pnei Shabbat lekab. Please remain standing for the Baruch. Page 28. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim bechokma poteach she'arim ubitvunam mishanei itim ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמורותיהם ברקיע כרצונו ינאי נאי 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 nine 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 yanana borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech vechoshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מעריב ערבים יאי נאי 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 We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. This is on your handout. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. One more time. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. We're embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we're too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we're too embittered to hear. We are loved, 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 loved by an unending love, an unending love. We are loved, 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 by an unending love, an unending love. We're supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we're too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha, ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen. Let's read together on page 37. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, Whether you're tired or you're rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They're reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Mi chamocha, who is like you. Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai. Page 40. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tilot, osefele, malchutecha rahu vanecha, bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zeli, zeli, anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב גאל ומרד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Let's read together Hashkivenu in our handout, top of the back page. Oh, guide my steps and help me find a way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and sing Ufros Aleinu, spread over us, Sukkot Shlemecha, a shelter of your peace. From the beginning, we did this earlier. Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot, Sukkot, Shelomecha. Again, Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot, Sukkot, Shelomecha. Again, Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot, Sukkot. Please rise. Shelomecha. Again. Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot, Sukkot, Shelomecha. 48. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei Vneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש שמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. I invite you to continue privately with your words, either from deep within or the words on the pages between 54 and page 60. Be seated when you're finished and take the time you need. ישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. יברך אלוהים את יום השביעי מכל מלאכתו. אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו קדשים מודים אנחנו לך שאתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו לעולם. שלום רב לישראל וחטאסים לי. Say shalom bimroma, Uya say shalom aleinu, tevel ve'imru Amen. Let's read together this meditation after the Amidah. We gratefully acknowledge that you are our God, the God of our people, the God of all generations. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank you and sing your praises for our lives, which are in your hand, our souls, which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. You are goodness. Your mercies never end. You are compassion. Your love will never fail. You have always been our hope. And for all these things, O God, let your name be forever exalted and blessed. And of course, we never miss a moment to pray for those in our communities and our lives who need healing. Healing of body, of spirit, of psyche, of self, relationship. And so, as is our custom, we're going to turn to page 253. And we'll call out the names of those we're holding in our hearts in between the stanzas. And yeah, we were really hoping that it was Judy's name on the Mishaberach list. But still there are many others for whom to pray for. Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. This week we're praying for Millie Rottenberg, Howard Simon, Gloria Berkowitz, Bernice Portney, Beryl Ben Sima Vishmuel Leib, Steve Gellis, Sholem Avram Ben Golda Yeshayahu, Myrtle Cupid, Michael Rosenblum, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya Batsara V'Yitzchak, Hechazan Yaakov Sender Ben Harav Moshe HaKohen Berachel, Maxwell Zwain, Menachem Mendel Ben Yehudit Michael, Tovia Ben Bela, Dwayne Charleston, Richard Foreign, Dora Montserrat, Jeff Galvani, and to these names we add Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Boy, I've got so much around my ears and around my neck. It's silly. You know, we revere and we study the Torah, but we live Judaism. And there's a difference. And as I teach my Introduction to Judaism class, some of you know, and some of you will, as has anyone who has read the Torah or who lives Jewishly, they are not the same. And had she lived, Judy, Balor Fabian, may she rest in peace, Zichrono Livracha, and the class that is still to unfold would have learned about the Mishnah. Lived and debated for centuries, but only finally written down in about the year 200 of the Common Era, the Mishnah is the first rung on the bridge between Torah and the tradition that we live today. Now, when most people hear about the Mishnah, they think of its most commonly studied treatise, Pirkei Avot, which is loosely translated as the ethics of our sages. And in Pirkei Avot, in the Mishnah, we find this. The sages used to say, at 5 years old, 5 years of age, the study of Scripture. At 10, the study of Mishnah. At 13, subject to the mitzvot, to the commandments. At 15, the study of Talmud. At 18, the bridal canopy. At 20, for pursuit of livelihood. At 30, the peak of strength. At 40, wisdom. At 50, able to give counsel. At 60, old age. At 70, fullness of years. At 80, the age of strength. At 90, a bent body. At 100, as good as dead and gone completely out of the world. We also have a tradition that age 83 is the perfect age to renew your bar or bat mitzvah. Anybody do that at 83 or know somebody? 83, you're going to do it at 83, right? Why? Because it's 70, as the Mishnah teaches, the fullness of years, plus 13, the age of mitzvah. So 83 becomes the age at which we're taught we renew our spiritual life. On Wednesday night, 2 nights ago, our beloved Judy was on her way to our Introduction to Judaism class when she was tragically struck by a car. And the truth is that while the multiple injuries she sustained actually ended her life in that moment, she took her final breath last night a little before 6. And tonight we're in deep, deep shock, horror, sadness, mourning at her senseless and sudden loss. And it's appropriate that we honor her life and her memory, even as we wait for the medical examiner to release her so that we may finally put her body to final rest. And while the horror of her death is so very raw and present, I don't want to talk about how she died. I don't want to talk about how she died as much as I want to talk about what she was actually doing the moment she died. In that moment, Judy was running to learn Torah. But it wasn't just to learn Torah for the sake of learning, which the Mishnah teaches is a mitzvah in and of itself. Judy was studying Torah for the sake of living Torah, which the Mishnah also teaches is the entire purpose of studying Torah to begin with. The Mishnah reads, and if you want to take a look on page 88 of our Siddurim, it says this: these are the things which a person performs and enjoys their fruit in this world, while the principle remains for them in Olam Haba, the world to come. honoring one's parents, bestowing kindness, arriving at the study hall early in the morning and evening, she was early, welcoming guests, visiting the sick, assisting the bride, escorting the dead, contemplation of prayer, and making peace between a person and their fellow. And then it ends, and the study of Torah is equal to them all. And the rabbis, of course, in the Mishnah ask and answer. The study of Torah is greater than them all because it leads to them all. And at the age of 83, Judy decided that her soul had found a home in Judaism and she was determined to live it. But the way in which Judy embraced the mitzvot, even before they were formally hers to assume, is something that I hope really inspires us all. Honestly, it should put us all a little to shame. Because here on the Shabbat in which we read of Jacob's wrestling match with the angel who renamed him Israel, one who wrestles with God, it behooves all of us to think about what the moniker of being B'nai Israel, as we all are, the children of Israel, requires of us. This year, again, at age 83, Judy's bat mitzvah renewal year, Judy learned to read Hebrew. She logged in every week and was a star student. She completed the class and could read everything. Judy, this year, wrote a new novel, published, not yet, but this fall. This dystopian environmental fiction thriller. I think it's a little sexy too, if I remember correctly. Judy dove into her conversion studies. Her nieces found her homework open all around her home yesterday and today. But I also know this gave her real joy. While she was waiting for the 9 to 10 months for the class to start, because she sort of came to us a little too late to start last year's class, she wanted to do this year's class, she was studying on her own and with me, and I know, we all know, that she was bold in her learning journey. She started off by making a cold call. She cold called me. It's very soon after her beloved Alan died. It was early in the summer of 2020, because Alan, her husband, was Jewish, and she wanted to be able to honor him properly in his tradition. And COVID at the time, right, this was before vaccine, prevented me from conducting the in-person memorial for him to which she was committed. But I explained to her about Kaddish, and I invited her to offer this prayer for him during that first difficult year. And even as a non-Jew at the time, she was there every single week at services to say Kaddish for Alan. And this opened the door for her and for us to get to know her and led to a number of beautiful conversations that became very meaningful to her. She, as you know, because we were all there with her, or many of us were there with her, participated in TBE's adult learning class, the first one I think we did, right, Beth, on death and the afterlife. And she took that really seriously. She began to learn all about the Jewish death rituals, and she took to heart the message that was at the heart of the class, that it is a mitzvah to prepare for one's own death. And that launched a series of conversations that we had that led her to create her own end-of-life planning. Now, none of us thought it would come so soon, but even in this, Judy is an example of how living Jewishly supports love, supports loving relationships, and supports community. Because nobody has to guess now what it is that she wanted. It's all there. And Judy was socially and politically active. Just last week, the Jersey Journal published an insightful letter she wrote to the editor. And if you Google her, you can see it wasn't her first. Judy dove into Jewish life again as the Mishnah teaches. Mishnah teaches this: do not separate yourself from the community. And Judy was that. She lived that, right? She was here almost every Friday night She participated in our Torah discussions. She was an active member of the TBE book club. She was part of the team of volunteers who delivered our Purim bags. She took on multiple shifts, I think probably more than anybody else, high holiday ushering, beautifying the services for everyone. Yeah, people signed up. Yeah, maybe I'll do a shift. Maybe, a couple people did too. Judy signed up for every single one. She's amazing. She found her home in Judaism and the Jewish people, and we were honored to have her among us in this past year plus. And even in that, Judy was fulfilling yet another mitzvah in the Mishnah, which goes as follows. Rabbi Yehoshua taught, make for yourself a rabbi, a teacher, acquire for yourself a friend. I was proud to be her rabbi, and she was delighted to make so many friends here, and so many of us were equally delighted to befriend her. So we, all of us, we were raising her up. We were raising her up to be, what a fabulous Jew. And her friends might ask, we might ask, how many of us say Kaddish every week when we've lost someone? How many of us volunteered to usher, deliver Purim, Mashloach Manot, come to services weekly, study Torah regularly, learn Hebrew, all in a little over a year, at the age of 83? That's a wow. The Mishnah also teaches, one who has acquired Torah has acquired eternal life. Judy died truly having acquired Torah learning and truly living a life of Torah. And so may it be for us, that her life inspires us to live the same. And that way we will honor her, we will honor each other, honor the tradition that she loved and that we loved and that we inherit or that we take on. And in that, may we too acquire eternal life. And may Judy's memory be for a blessing for the world, for our community that raised her, that she left better for being in it. Shabbat Shalom. I would love to take a few minutes for each and any one of us who feels that they would like to just stand up and share a memory, a thought, just something that's on your mind. Sorry. About Judy. Just to share. Thank you. Alan. Mm. Noemi. You made a friend. We made a friend. Thank you. Okay. I usually do this at the beginning. We usually do this at the beginning, but I think it's a really important transition to Aleinu. Make a friend. Turn around. There are people here I know you don't know, because I didn't know everybody. So before we end with Aleinu, make a friend. And if you feel like they need a hug, and that's okay, you can do that too. This is music. This is music. This is great. Okay, we're going to transition to Aleinu. I'm going to invite us to rise and close this conversation, this laughter, this banter is music. It's beautiful music. And it's upon us to bring that music and that life back into our lives and into our community. Page 282 for Aleinu, please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please be seated. Let the time be distant, not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, and when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, and when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye, and may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Page 294, Mourner's Kaddish, in which we honor those who have gone before us, those who gave us life, those who walked with us, taught us. This week, as a community, we are marking the yard sites of David B. Finkelstein, Hortense Frank, Edna Press Herman, Sylvia F. Shapiro, and Rhonda Joyce Wasserman. We're, of course, in Shloshim for Judy Baller Fabian and for Larry's beloved aunt, Edith Danzig Grossman. I invite you to rise if you are in mourning or you are saying Kaddish for someone, or if it's just your custom, or you're just feeling the need to praise on your feet. With Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Please be seated and join me on this reading. To the living I am gone, to the sorrowful I will never return, to the angry I was cheated, but to the happy I am at peace, and to the faithful I have never left. I cannot speak, but I can listen. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand upon the shore, gazing at the beautiful sea, remember me. As you look in awe at a mighty forest and its grand majesty, remember me. As you look upon a flower and admire its simplicity, remember me. Remember me in your hearts, in your thoughts, and your memories of the times we loved, the times we cried, the times we fought, and the times we laughed. For if you always think of me, I will have never gone. Be'ado av kidruchi, be'et yishan ve'ha'ira, ve'im ruchi geviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira, ve'im ruchi geviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Be'ado av kidruchi, be'et yishan ve'ha'ira, ve'im ruchi geviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira. Use one of those.
Thank you, Rabbi, for your for leading us in prayer tonight, and really for your lovely words about Judy. Thank you, Seth. I was talking to someone about Judy, and I said, well, I don't really know where she came from. She sort of appeared in our midst and became everybody's friend very quickly, and was such a bright spirit with that white hair that lit up a room just the way her personality did, and she sort of appeared out of nowhere like an angel, and now she's gone. So I've got some announcements. Temple Beth-El will be participating in the Jewish Federation's Mitzvah Day, November 21st, that's this Sunday at 12:30, assembling cold weather bundles for those in need. More information can be found in the weekly. Also in the weekly, you can find information about the Jews of Color and People of Color in the Reform Movement Affinity Space gatherings. There's one coming up November 22nd, that's Monday night at 8 o'clock. Again, the link is in the weekly email from the temple. There will be an interfaith community Thanksgiving service next Tuesday. Something going on every night. Tuesday night, November 23rd, 7 p.m. at Old Bergen Church, 1 Highland Avenue, just off Journal Square. There will be a combined choir and special music. Leaders from congregations from the Journal Square and McGinley Square neighborhoods will participate in the service.
Including me.
Including Rabbi Morat. Thank you. And this year's offering will support the community kitchen run by St. Peter's University Campus Ministry. Rabbi Moritz's Introduction to Hebrew 1 begins December 1st from 7 to 7:30 p.m. and runs for 13 weeks. You can email Rabbi Moritz for information. You might even be able to nab her here. We're going to have our third annual Krispy Kreme Hanukkah fundraiser this year. You can get the details from the weekly email. Donuts are $15 a dozen. Coffee is $15 per bag. We used to call it a pound, but it's not a pound anymore. Both are available in multiple varieties, and don't lose any time. Orders have to be received by November 28th. The instructions are in the weekly or on the temple website. We also have an opportunity to subscribe to get a weekly challah. And again, you can get the information from the Temple Weekly email. It's a 17-week subscription beginning January 6th, and it's $180. It's a triple mitzvah. You can make your Shabbat more meaningful. You can support Temple Beth-El, and it's challah. What's not to like? Yes, and the instructions are, as I said, in the weekly and on the temple website, and the orders have to be in by December 23rd. Friday, December 3rd, will be our December 1st Friday family service with students from our religious school, and there will be a consecration, and it will be followed by our Hanukkah festival. Details are still being worked out.
Yeah, the food details we're not quite sure about, but we're still, everybody bring your own Hanukkah. We're going to do a massive lighting in the sanctuary, and we have our Friday night service. It's a first Friday, so it's an early service.
6:30.
Yeah, well, consecration is going to be at 6, but the service is at 6:30, so if you really want to kvel about our kids, come at 6. Do you want to stand up and make an announcement?
No, I was going to bring the donuts. I have all these donuts for that night.
Yeah, oh, and that's donut night.
I'm bringing, there will be, as part of the fundraiser, just the regular donuts. You don't get a variety. Easier, the children won't fight over which kind of donut they get. But there will be Krispy Kreme original glazed donuts.
Yay.
Hanukkah night.
That's
As there
2 weeks
should
from
be.
tonight.
I won't be there, but they're getting
There will be
picked up.
donuts.
They
Yeah,
are getting picked
and
up
that's,
and dropped.
it's 2 weeks from tonight. It's coming right on the heels of Thanksgiving. The only thing that we're not sure about is to the extent to which we're permitting people to take off their masks and eat them in the sanctuary. We'll have them, we just don't know if we're going to eat them. Right, yeah, that's the, it's everything needs a committee.
For those of you who haven't been around for a long time,
But do sign up for your challah subscription. I mean,
Yeah.
how fabulous is that, right? Exactly.
on Hanukkah, traditionally we have latkes here that are made by our own group.
You can. So we're going to have it, so you're going to be able to pick them up in Hoboken. There's also, you can pick them up all day Thursday when Bob is in the office Thursday, or at Friday night services. Or in Hoboken on Friday. Yes, but you have to pick a location. You can't go swinging between Hoboken and Jersey City. That'll blow our little minds. Yeah. And
Right.
Tot Shabbat is tomorrow morning too, for anybody with,
Touch about.
yes, that's tomorrow.
What time? 10 o'clock?
10:30.
10:30. I always say 10.
Here.
10:30 tomorrow morning. Touch about in the sanctuary here.
We got a lot going on for a little
We have a
shul.
lot going on. Sundays we have our religious school every week, and students can still enroll, even though we've gotten started already. We follow all the Jersey City schools and CDC recommended health protocols. If you know a young one who could benefit by coming to our religious school, you can contact Maura Marion at betheljc.org. And the religious school calendar is posted on the temple website. Let's see, the social hall downstairs, where we usually would have a small service like this in the past, was damaged and infiltrated with mold due to Hurricane Ida. And so we are about to start the remediation process. The people will come November 29th to get started, removing the carpeting and everything with everything that's been affected by mold. And probably the social hall will be unusable for a good period of time. The floor will not be the floor anymore, and the walls will be partially removed. We are at the same time raising money not only for the remediation, which we may have covered with some loans from the Small Business Administration, but also for the renovation of the social hall. It's a very big job, and we hope to have it done, I'd say, before the end of the school year. Is that a good goal? The original goal was for the beginning of the school year. Don't forget.
Yes, when the
you will-
Kadima people call and say, can we have a conversation, please say yes.
Yes, this
Just
is
say
our
yes.
Kadima committee that is.
Just say
will be-
yes.
Will be
Just say
raising the
yes.
money for this. We also need some volunteers for two things here. One is the tech crew that live streams our services. Right now, there are only a few people who know how to do it. Seth Lubin is really in charge, and he's been doing it most weeks, but I'm sure he could use a break and some help sometimes. So if that might interest you to learn how to run the equipment, it's right there in the control room. It's not that hard. It would be a great thing to have some more people volunteer for this. Also, Wednesday nights, we have our food pantry from 5:30 to 6:30, and we give out food to many of our neighbors who are food insecure. So we need volunteers for that, and we always need food donations. You can find out how to donate or to volunteer from the weekly or from the temple website.
Thank you, Tom.
Rabbi?
Yeah. So More Marion is going to be here next weekend. I'm not. So I don't get a chance to say goodbye to Seth on his last weekend, because in 2 weeks Ben is going to be back, which I know we love Ben and we're really happy that he's coming back. But I have to say that conducting services with you, Seth, it is a higher spiritual realm than I don't know what. You've just got a sensitivity to the flow of the service, the liturgy, your musical intuition. I think it speaks to all of us. It's been just a pure joy and a pleasure, and it helps me pray. And I want to thank you for that, and I know that we all thank you for that. And I'm going to miss you terribly. So you're number one on our list to call. So we love Ben. But if he takes the night off, I'm like, oh, good, we can call Seth.
I do hope to see you all again. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you.
Enjoyed being
Thank
part
you.
of this.
Yeah,
for
you're
the
part of
past
us.
few
You're
months.
family now. You're mishpacha. That's it. All right. Let's have a little, for many years, it feels like another lifetime ago, I was on the Hever Kadisha committee of a synagogue I belonged to. This is even pre-seminary days. And for those of you who don't know, Hever Kadisha is the committee in a synagogue that takes care of the community when they die. Literally, they take care of the dead bodies. And we prepare them from the time they leave the hospital until the time they are literally in their caskets. And it's intense work. But it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah, right? You don't leave these things to strangers to the extent that you can. And whenever we would leave the funeral home after we would do our work, we would go out to eat. Because this is what Jews do. It's not the joke that just, yes, Jews eat. Jews eat. But what we do is we affirm life, right? And when we got together and we were hearing laughing and laughter, this is what we do, right? We connect with one another. We do those things that are life-affirming. And what is more life-affirming than eating, right? There are a couple of things, right? But we're fleshy, right? So this is what we do. And so this is what we do. We end the service with some good sweet raisin challah. And we can say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Shabbat shalom. B'tehavon, enjoy, good Shabbos. Oh, take the whole thing, Nancy, you know you want it. We got 2 loaves.
Oh, I'll have a piece of that. Thank you, thank you.